The morning light filters through half-drawn blinds, casting long shadows across a desk cluttered with coffee stains and sticky notes. A man sits there, scrolling through his banking app with the familiar furrow of someone who has done this math before and never liked the answers. His name is not important, he could be you. For 3 years, he has paid his bills the old way, manually logging into accounts, setting reminders, occasionally forgetting something and paying a late fee that made him curse under his breath. He considered himself financially responsible. Not wealthy, but responsible. He tracked expenses. He had a budget. He did the work. But work was exactly what it felt like. Every month, the same ritual. Electricity due on the 5th, internet on the 12th, that random subscription he signed up for during a late-night binge. What was that even for? He told himself he would cancel it next month. Next month always became this month. Then his brother sent him a text at 11:47 p.m. on a Tuesday. "Dude, let AI handle your bills for a week. Trust me." The man laughed. AI. He had seen what AI could do: write poetry, generate images of cats in spacesuits, argue with strangers on the internet. But handle money, handle the stuff that kept his lights on and his water running. He typed back, "No way. That's how you get hacked." His brother responded with a screenshot, his brother's bank account, showing an extra $240 at the end of the month. No late fees, no forgotten subscriptions, just money that used to disappear, now sitting there. The man stared at the screenshot for a long time. Here is what you need to understand about the human brain and money. Psychologists call it cognitive load. Every decision you make, every reminder you set, every login you type, it all drains a limited resource. Your brain treats financial tasks like background noise, something to handle later, but later never comes with extra energy. Later comes with the same tired brain that just worked 8 hours and wants to watch something mindless. By Wednesday morning, curiosity won. He downloaded an AI bill management app. Not because he believed in it, but because he needed to prove his brother wrong. The setup took 4 minutes. He connected his bank account, read-only access. He checked 3 times and gave the AI permission to scan his transactions. What happened next made him lean closer to his phone. The AI processed 5 years of his financial history in 8 seconds. It identified every recurring payment, every subscription, every bill he had ever paid. Then it organized them on a timeline. He saw his entire financial life mapped out like a calendar of obligations. There was rent, obvious. Car payment, obvious. But then the AI highlighted something in yellow. A $14.99 charge every month from a company name he did not recognize. He clicked it. The AI had traced it back to a free trial he signed up for in 2021, a meditation app he used exactly twice. For 3 years, he had paid for meditation while never meditating. $540, gone. The AI did not judge him. It simply displayed the information. But sitting there, looking at that number, the man felt something shift in his chest, not embarrassment. Something stranger, relief, because the AI had found something he never could have found on his own. Not because he was careless, but because human memory is not designed to track dozens of recurring transactions across multiple years. The brain evolved to remember where the barriers were, not whether a subscription renewed on the 17th. He canceled the meditation app in 1 click. The AI asked if he wanted to enable automatic bill negotiation. He hesitated. Negotiation, I could negotiate. He clicked yes without fully understanding what it meant. The first day ended with him feeling lighter, like a weight he did not know he carried had shifted slightly. He checked the app before bed. The AI had already paid his electricity bill not on the due date, but 3 days early. A notification explained that paying early sometimes improves credit utilization ratios. The man had never considered that. He just paid when he remembered. He fell asleep wondering what else he had never considered. I used to dread looking at my bills. Seriously, every month, it was the same old story. My internet bill would creep up, my phone plan would have some weird new charge, and my cable package. Well, let's just say it felt like I was funding a small movie studio. I'd spend hours on the phone, getting transferred from one department to another, trying to argue my case, only to end up with a tiny discount that barely made a dent. It was frustrating, time-consuming, and honestly, a little soul-crushing. I felt completely powerless, like these big companies held all the cards and I was just along for the ride. My budget was a mess. I was trying so hard to save, cutting back on things I enjoyed, but these recurring bills were like a leaky faucet. constantly draining my finances. I remember one month, my internet bill shot up by $20 for no apparent reason. I called them, spent my entire lunch break on hold, and was told it was just a promotional period ending. I tried to negotiate, but the agent was just reading from a script. I hung up feeling defeated. That was my breaking point. I knew there had to be a better way, so I started digging. I spent late nights researching, looking for tips, tricks, anything that could give me an edge. That's when I stumbled upon something that completely changed the game for me. It was an AI tool designed specifically to handle bill negotiations. At first, I was skeptical. An AI negotiating my bills. It sounded like science fiction, but I was desperate enough to try anything. The setup was surprisingly simple. I uploaded my bills, gave the AI permission to negotiate on my behalf, and then I waited. A couple of days later, I got an email. I almost deleted it, thinking it was spam. But the subject line caught my eye. "We've lowered your internet bill." I opened it, my heart pounding a little. The email detailed how the AI had successfully negotiated with my provider and locked in a new, lower rate for the next 12 months. The savings were significant, more than I had ever managed to get on my own. I was floored. This wasn't a tiny discount. This was real money back in my pocket every single month. Emboldened, I decided to let it loose on my other bills. My phone bill was next, then my cable and satellite radio subscriptions. Each time, the result was the same. An email would arrive a few days later, outlining the new, lower price the AI had secured for me. It was incredible. The AI knew all the right things to say, the right promotions to ask for, and it had the patience of a machine. It would never get tired or frustrated like I did. It was like having a professional negotiator working for me 24/7 for a fraction of what a human expert would cost. The best part wasn't just the money I was saving, though that was amazing. It was the feeling of control. For the first time, I felt like I was in the driver's seat of my own finances. I wasn't at the mercy of random price hikes anymore. The constant anxiety I felt about my bills just vanished. I could finally create a budget that I could actually stick to because my expenses were predictable and lower. That financial clarity was priceless. It freed up mental space I didn't even know I was losing to bill-related stress. Now, instead of dreading the end of the month, I actually look forward to seeing my statements. Seeing those lower numbers is a constant reminder that I took action and found a smarter way to manage my money. That extra cash goes straight into my savings, towards a vacation, or just gives me a little breathing room. It's not just about saving a few bucks here and there. It's about reclaiming your time and your peace of mind. If you're tired of overpaying and feeling powerless against big service providers, you have to look into these tools. It's one of the simplest and most effective financial decisions I've ever made. Thanks so much for watching. If this story resonated with you, give this video a like and subscribe for more tips on how to take control of your finances. See you next time. Saturday arrived without alarms. The man woke slowly, the way you do when nothing urgent waits. He made coffee without checking his phone, sat by the window, watched clouds drift. At some point, he remembered the AI and opened the app not from anxiety, but from curiosity. What he saw made him laugh. The AI had sent him a weekly summary. Not just numbers, but insights. It had identified patterns in his spending that spanned 5 years. It noticed he spent more on food during weeks with 3-day weekends. It flagged that his utility bills spiked every February, probably from space heaters. It calculated that if he shifted his gym visits to off-peak hours, he would save $12 a month in convenience pricing his gym charged for primetime access. He had never considered off-peak gym pricing. He did not even know such a thing existed. But the real shift happened when he scrolled to a section labeled Financial Psychology Profile. The AI had analyzed his spending habits and generated a personality assessment. It said he was a guardian spender, someone who prioritizes security and stability, but sometimes overpays for peace of mind. It noted his tendency to set bills on autopay without reviewing them, his avoidance of customer service calls, his pattern of ignoring small recurring charges until they became large ones. The assessment did not criticize, it simply described. And in that description, the man saw himself clearly for the first time. Not as someone bad with money, but as someone whose brain was wired to handle money in a specific way. A way that made sense given his life, his job, his limited bandwidth. The AI offered suggestions, not commands. It recommended he keep bill negotiation on permanent autopilot. It suggested he set aside 15 minutes every quarter to review his subscriptions. It flagged that his emergency fund, while adequate, could earn better interest in a different account type. He implemented all of it in under 10 minutes. That afternoon, he went for a walk, not because he needed anything, but because he wanted to move. His phone buzzed. He stopped walking. $1,240 left after bills. In 7 days, with zero effort, his disposable income had increased by nearly 40%. He thought about what that meant: more savings, more investment, more freedom to say yes to things without checking balances first, more mental space to focus on work, on relationships, on the parts of life that actually mattered. The AI had not changed how much he earned. It had changed how much he kept. By Sunday evening, he had recommended the app to friends. Not because he worked for them, but because the experience felt too significant to keep private. He wanted other people to feel what he felt: the strange relief of handing over a task you were never designed to do. Here's the final lesson, the one that stayed with him after the experiment ended. Humans invented money to simplify exchange, but over centuries, money became complicated. Bills, subscriptions, interest rates, fees, penalties, fine print. The system grew layers designed to extract value from inattention. The system assumed you would forget. It counted on you being busy, tired, overwhelmed. AI changes that equation. When you automate bill management, you are not cheating. You are not being lazy. You are using tools to do what tools do best: track, analyze, predict, execute, so you can do what humans do best: create, connect, rest. The man still checks his finances. He still thinks about money, but now he thinks about direction, not details. He thinks about goals, not bills. He thinks about the life he wants, not the logistics of funding it. On Monday morning, he opened the app one last time before work. The AI had prepared a monthly forecast, a savings projection, and a single sentence: "You are on track to save $4,092 this year without changing your lifestyle." He smiled, closed the app, went to work. The bills paid themselves. If this video felt like it was made for you, that is because it was. Money stress is universal, but the solutions do not have to be complicated. Every week, we break down the psychology behind your financial decisions and show you exactly how to keep more of what you earn. Here is how you can help this channel grow. Subscribe, tap the button below. It is free, it takes 1 second, and it tells the algorithm that content like this matters. Like, hit that thumbs up. It sounds small, but likes push this video to people who actually need to see it. People just like you, sitting somewhere right now, stressing about bills they should not have to stress about. Comment, tell me, would you let AI handle your bills? Why or why not? I read every single comment, and the conversations we build here become the next videos I make. Share, send this to one person, a friend, a sibling, that coworker who always talks about money but never does anything about it. Sharing this video might be the push they need. The algorithm rewards engagement. But more than that, engaged viewers build a community. And a community of people who think differently about money. That changes everything. Subscribe now. Join the movement, and I will see you in the next video.